Greetings, beautiful earthlings. My name is Star. If you are new here, I don't know how you found me, but I am super grateful to have you. And if you are returning, y'all the real MVP, you already know. We're here to talk about this thing today. I have not shown this thing yet to you guys because I'm very conflicted about this thing here. So, as you guys know, I have been very hardcore pushing the no knockoffs over here on this channel because I was falsely sold a knockoff by an old family friend and it really fucking chapped my hide and I was very upset about it, and I went on a really big rant about no knockoffs ever. And then Liminal 11 started sending me things, and it also just kind of made me feel really weird about knockoffs because I was like, I see now what not only the artist or the publisher puts into the deck, but like it's just so much that goes into the entire process of creating a deck, and it makes me feel nasty about the knockoff world, right? I've also had a friend who used to work with Hay House, and same thing, they were like, it's just the worst thing that an artist can go through to see their deck that they worked so hard on being sold for $2 on Wish, right? It's gotta be a nasty feeling. So I never ever bought one of these stupid little Rider-Waite-Smith decks off of Amazon before because to me it felt like a knockoff. Although Pamela Coleman Smith and Arthur Edward Waite have long been since passed, US Game Systems holds the licensing, the rights of the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot. So I made a big point about, if you're gonna buy a Rider-Waite-Smith tarot, make sure it is a US Game Systems Rider-Waite-Smith tarot licensed with an ISBN number and blah blah blah, right? And, here we are a couple years into my channel, and now the Rider-Waite-Smith imagery has become public domain. If you guys don't know what public domain is, it's kind of like Jingle Bells. Jingle Bells is like a public domain song, right? Things like just all those dumb little nursery rhyme songs. That's why people are allowed to use nursery rhyme songs in their videos and not get copyrighted, or they're allowed to use it, make it, sing it, remix it, things like that, because you don't need licensing for that. It's a public domain type of thing. Please do your research on public domain. However, don't just start using things and say, it's on the internet, it's public domain. That's not true. A lot of things are copyrighted, a lot of things have trademark, a lot of things are licensed, and you will still get sued for using something whether you claim it as public domain or not. It has to really genuinely be public domain for you to use it, okay? Yeah, it's gonna ruin you real fast if you try to claim something as public domain that's not. So, I had some mixed feelings about the Rider-Waite-Smith imagery becoming public domain because, again, it's a part of the tarot world, and it's a very big part of the tarot world at that. You guys know, clearly, there are systems of tarot that have come before the Rider-Waite-Smith, right? The Rider-Waite-Smith came out in like the 70s, like it's not old by any means. And that was still Pamela Coleman Smith's imagery, and there were so many people trying to take Pamela Coleman Smith's power, right? They didn't want to put her name on the deck. They didn't want to give her any type of recognition for her artwork. It was called the Rider Tarot, right? Not even the Rider-Waite-Smith at the time. It's still not called the Rider-Waite-Smith. We call it the Rider-Waite-Smith because we are giving Pixie the accolades that she deserves, right? She deserves the appreciation that the Rider-Waite-Smith imagery came from her, and everything that's come after it has been based off of that. Like, Pixie is just, queen in the tarot world. So the fact that the Rider-Waite-Smith imagery became public domain really chapped my hide a lot. I was mad about it. I was very mad about it. But at the end of the day, I gotta put my ego aside and remember there are other people involved, right? The whole world doesn't revolve around me. As much as I'd like to think so because I'm a Leo, the world doesn't revolve around me. At the end of the day, especially the spiritual world. So this is an argument that we have time and time again on my channel, which is people saying it doesn't matter if the cards are the real authentic cards because blah, blah, blah. It's the imagery, it's the divination, it's this, it's that, right? Yes and no. We're not having that conversation here today. But what we're doing here today is looking at this deck because I decided to do something completely out of my comfort zone and get one of these little random Rider-Waite-Smith imagery, non-licensed, big publisher decks right off of Amazon. I hate it. It makes me itchy. I don't like it. I've never done it before. But the Rider-Waite-Smith imagery is now public domain, and that means anyone can use their imagery and publish it as their own as long as they do some kind of spin on the deck, right? That means you can print out the entire Rider-Waite-Smith deck on your printer at home now, legally. And it just is what it is, right? They have a little book. This one specifically says Gold Foil Tarot on it, but the interesting thing is it doesn't say that anywhere on the box. Nothing on the box. It was just this cheapy little thing. It was not cheap, let me tell you. This was almost $30. I was mad about this. Literally almost $30 for a non-licensed, non-copyrighted little fucking deck. But let me get over that. Okay, I'm trying, y'all. I'm really trying to evolve here, okay? And the reason that I chose this deck, if you guys know me, is because I love neon colors. Neon colors, like, when I started painting, the only thing I would use was neon colors. I use highlighters to color in coloring books because all I want is bright, loud neon colors. I don't like the rest of the color spectrum. I don't accept it. It's gross. It's muted. It's not fun. It's important to understand it as a painter, but I don't like it. I like this. I like bright. I like exciting, and I love pink. You guys know I just did that review on the OK Tarot, and the only reason I bought it was because it was pink. So Amazon suggested this to me, and I was like, all right, let me take a look. Literally, first impressions when I opened the damn thing, I was really pissed off about it because it's a shitty little box. Look at that. It's plastic. Look, my bad. It was already broken. This only has one flap. The other side was broken off. Look, you can even see it in there. This is all busted up. It's shitty. It's all broken. And yes, I can give that thanks to Amazon warehouses for just throwing shit around. Of course, it probably didn't start broken. Was not cellophane wrapped. Bothers me. Kind of gross, but whatever. The box was not cellophane wrapped. The deck was not cellophane wrapped. It just came like this. Cards in this thing. And now I keep boxes, and this nasty thing has to go on my shelf, and it's very irritating. There was no other guidance in here except for these little cards. These are just cute little things, I think, for you to keep. If you guys haven't seen the walkthrough yet, yes, of course, there is a walkthrough. Here is the back of the cards. Very pretty, very shiny moon. Like, only the moon is shiny on there. It's very pretty. I really love this backing. I love, 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 love this backing. I don't like that it's not reversible. A lot of tarot readers are like that, where they don't like if a backing isn't reversible because you can tell that the card is reversed. I don't give that much thought to it. I don't really fucking care. But I do like the aesthetic comfort of an image being reversible. It makes me feel good. But it doesn't really matter to me either which way. Did come with a book, and for those of you guys who have watched the walkthrough and you're like, wait, let me see the tarot cloth. I don't have it over here. It's on my desk, covered in shit. I liked it a lot, so I put it on my desk. But it did come with a tarot cloth, and actually I wish I had known that I was going to film this video. I would have brought it over here because it's a very impressive tarot cloth. The tarot cloths, not to throw anyone under the bus, but the tarot cloths that I've gotten before with other decks from publishers that will not be named, they were just like handkerchiefs, right? They're just, you know, like cottony handkerchiefs with a cute design on it, you know, square, and that's it. That's what they are. But this tarot cloth was super duper thick, like a suede, like really crazy thick, stinky as all hell. I'll tell you that. I had to spray it and like open the window and air it out. It was really stinky. It smelled like chemicals. But you know, a lot of things do when you get them from Amazon. I've just come to accept this. But the tarot cloth is very impressive, dude. I was like really hoping I would love the deck so much because of the tarot cloth and how good it looked. But if you really want to see it, like see me like touching it and things, I do that in the walkthrough at the very end so that you can actually see the tarot cloth. It's got tassels all the way around it with like gold on the tassels. There's gold imagery on the cloth. I don't know if it's a bee or a beetle or some shit, I don't know. But it's very thick suede. Like, I don't even have something comparable to it, but it reminds me of a jacket I used to have back in the day, like one of those little like suede jackets, like very thick, very good material, very impressive. So that's probably where my $30 went, to be honest, was to that tarot cloth. I was like, no, it sure as hell didn't go to this deck. The issue I have with this deck, if you guys have seen me on TikTok lately, I call this deck slippery. You'll see it in the walkthrough. I show you guys, I've started doing a preliminary shuffle test on my walkthroughs so that you can see what it shuffles like. This deck, this is very cool to look at this, actually. I never noticed this. There's texture inside of the pattern. I don't know if you guys can get in there. Inside of the pattern, maybe if I can, there's texturing. See? You can see it on the little triangles up at the very top. Like there's a pattern and then there's texture inside of the patterns, and there's multiple textures on this. It's very cool. And I didn't notice when I did the walkthrough, I wish I had. There's a pattern on these cards, right? And at first I was like, ew, why'd they put a pattern on there? I'm dumb as hell, you guys. That's the Roses and Lilies pattern. The famous Rider-Waite-Smith Roses and Lilies pattern that's on a lot of decks now. That's what that is. It's not just like a random, I thought they put a texture on there for like no reason, just to be different, but it's actually the Roses and Lilies pattern. You just like really gotta catch it at the right angle to understand it. But yeah, as you can see, they're very brightly colored. I love it. I've always wanted one of these decks that was like crazy Rider-Waite-Smith colors, and I just never let myself buy them because of, you know, my no knockoff ego. But if you guys haven't seen the walkthrough, please do. These are stunning, stunning, stunning colors. I will not say stunning imagery because the drawings themselves are kind of lackluster. Looks like they also tried to forge Pixie's signature on there at the bottom. It's not Pixie's signature. I know that for a fact because this is Pixie's signature. And this is what that looks like. Definitely not the same signature in any sense, because again, this is they're trying to pull one over on us. But look, there's just texture throughout this deck. Can I get you in there to see that? On the heart, there's a circle texture, like all the way around that. You can kind of see the circle at the middle of the heart. There's so many textures in this deck. Like, it's very cool to appreciate. Like, you hear that? There's texture all over that. And it's very fun. I will give it that. It's very fun, and that's why I liked it, and that's why I was drawn to it. But my issue with this deck is the waterproof coating. So it does say that in the actual description of the deck, that there's waterproof coating to make your cards last longer. And I thought they were just like plastic cards when I picked them up. I just thought they were plastic cards. I was like, oh, cool, plastic cards. I was like, why do you say waterproof coating? That's dumb. But when you actually like touch them, they don't feel plastic. They feel paper. So they feel plastic up here, but they don't feel plastic down here. They feel like paper on the sides. So I think that's what that is. I think they were paper cards and then they put a coating on them or something. Because, like, of course, they had to put coating on this for all of these different textures, right? I'm so blown away by how many textures are on this card right now. Like, I've never seen something like this, especially on any deck, but especially on a shitty little knockoff that came off of Amazon, right? Really mind-blowing. I'm very impressed by the aesthetics of this deck. The actual practice of using this deck, however, really fucking sucks. It sucks to shuffle, dude. The faces really bug me. Like, if you're gonna use someone's imagery, just change the colors. But like it seems like they took the template of the picture and then they drew over it, like, you know, in Procreate or fucking Photoshop, and they decided they were gonna like sloppily, haphazard do it, just kind of quickly get it done, and they didn't put, you know, care into the faces, but they put care into everything else. There's like a weird color on this guy too, where it's like pink and yellow, and at different angles it changes. Like, I'm just, the more I look at this deck, the more really blown away I am by it, and I just wish it didn't fly everywhere. And I'm not being dramatic. I know there was one time I did a review on a plastic deck, and someone was like, if you just lick your fingers, they don't stick. Okay, first of all, gross. I don't want my deck to be covered in my spit. And second of all, I don't want to do that every time I'm shuffling my damn cards. You guys know how often I have to be shuffling cards to stay bonded with all these decks. I got 60 plus decks over here. I know you guys are tired of hearing about it. Maybe one day I'll do a real count and it'll be like 75 by now. But I've got more than 60 decks, and I have to be constantly in a state of bonding with a deck. I have to be constantly shuffling them. Not because I'm like obsessive about tarot, but because I don't like the feeling of losing a bond with a deck. I've done that where I just ignored a deck for a while and was like, I'm sure it'll be fine. And I didn't bond with it deep enough, and when I went to pick it up, I had no bond with it, and it was not good readings, and I was like, this sucks. So I'm constantly trying to stay bonded with my decks, which means I have to shuffle them a lot. And half this deck will fall out, like when I'm shuffling. If I'm shuffling like this, it's fine, because I have full control over the cards, right? My hand's down here, this hand's here, this hand's got full control. That doesn't get too crazy until you start having cards trying to slip out the back, or you start trying to get really fast, right? It doesn't look that bad when I shuffle it overhand like that. You're just like, oh, Star, you're being so dramatic. You're shuffling just fine. But when I try to bridge shuffle the damn thing, 47 cards fly out all over my floor. See? When I set them down, they slip all over each other. They don't sit down straight. They just fall all over the damn place. And it's very frustrating because I can't set it on anything that's unlevel. And I know that sounds dumb. People are going to be like, you can't set down a deck of cards that on anything unlevel anyways. But that's funny, the card that fell out. It's literally laughing at me. Haha, stupid. You have to juggle the whole deck. But I've never had to think about setting down a deck so much. Never, ever, ever. Because like the matte cards, right? They don't slip around as much as the glossy cards do. And mind you, a lot of decks are matte. A lot of decks are not. So that's, something I have to keep in mind. But these decks are more, this deck specifically is way more slippery than the plastic decks I have. I have 2 plastic decks and like hella plastic playing cards. But this is the most slippery deck I've ever had. I set it down, the cards go flying every which way. I try to bridge shuffle it, just pile of cards all over my floor. When they hit the floor, they slide all over each other and they just make a bigger mess. Like, it's annoying as all hell. But it's here. It's here and it's in my hand and I kind of low-key love it. I just wish it didn't suck to shuffle. So take that as you will. Take that with a grain of salt, right? I have to constantly remind myself it's cute. That's it. It's cute. It's a Rider-Waite-Smith, right? Every Rider-Waite-Smith is a Rider-Waite-Smith is a Rider-Waite-Smith. Same thing. Same thing, different flavor. It's cute, right? It's a different deck. It's something I have to learn to get used to. It's just annoying. And we all know that when we get a deck that's annoying to shuffle, eventually we just stop shuffling it, right? You just don't touch it anymore. Maybe not for those of you who are like just getting started and you have like a deck or 2 decks or something. But not everybody turns into me. Please don't, fear for your life. Not everybody turns into me. But if you are someone who really likes tarot decks after you start getting into it and you start collecting tarot decks, the allure of plastic cards happens, and I don't know of anybody that uses tarot cards in a bathtub. I like the idea of plastic cards solely because it means I don't have to buy another one. I don't have to replace it. But again, the argument has been made of more plastic shit in this ocean. So I guess, take that as you will. Do with that what you will. And this was kind of just a fun little video to say that the Rider-Waite-Smith imagery is now public domain, and if you guys want to go print your own deck at home and little teeny tiny pictures and put them on little teeny tiny cards or put them all over things, you can. Don't feel bad about buying a shitty little random Rider-Waite-Smith deck anymore. You don't have to hide it. It's public domain. If you want to buy that crazy rose gold foil Rider-Waite-Smith deck, go for it. If you want the holographic one, go for it, right? It's public domain. I don't know how many I will end up getting, right? I really, really like the holographic ones. I've always wanted one. I've always like steered people away from them, again, because of licensing, not for any other reason. I don't know. I don't know if I'm ever going to get another one. But this, it was kind of like for me to accept the Rider-Waite-Smith imagery as being public domain and like being okay with it and trying to celebrate it. I don't know that it's something to be celebrated still. I don't, because it bothers me greatly that, you know, Pixie went through, she didn't get any recognition in her lifetime for the imagery, and then, you know, they didn't want to give her recognition afterwards. People were still trying to slander her as a person or her heritage or things like that, and she just, let the woman rest, you know, give her her accolades and let her rest. Like, damn, why can't we just, like, accept that Pixie did the damn thing, right? No one's ever gonna do that, but whatever. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give me a big old thumbs up. You know, that helps me out so very much with my channel, and, you know, it brings more people to me, the people that want to watch me just sit here and talk about tarot decks, because that's all I do in life, apparently. And, yeah, if you guys are not already following me on TikTok, what are you doing? Please go check it out. I'm more of a real person over there. I post pretty much daily. In my link tree, there's my other socials if you want to check out my Instagram, my Twitter, all that fun stuff. My Etsy shop is down there. If you'd like to have something that is handmade by me for some reason, I do be making things sometimes. And, yeah, if you would like to purchase this deck, I guess I'll put the link down there, because I'm already getting people asking me about it on TikTok, and I was trying not to say anything about it, but I can't guarantee you're gonna get this deck, right? I have nothing to do with this deck. I'm not affiliated with it. I'm not making money off of it. I don't really care if you buy it or not. I'll put the link down there for the sake of putting the link down there. If you want it, go get it. If you don't, then don't. It might be gone, right? Maybe there was only 10 of them in existence and they sold out. Like, I'll never know. But please, please, please don't come in here 3 years from now and go, Star, this deck doesn't even exist. Your link is broken. You're a terrible person. All right? Chill. I'm doing what I'm doing in the moment. So that's what I got for you guys today, my friends. I'm so super excited to be here. Thank you so much for 2,000 subs. I'm so incredibly grateful. If you guys have been lurking and you have not yet subscribed, please, please, please do so. It makes a world of difference for me and my channel. You have no idea. It means so very much to me. So thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being here. You guys are the greatest, and I really hope that wherever you are when this video reaches you, my friends, you have a beautiful, wonderful day, and I cannot wait to see you in the next one. Blessed be.